Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt for More Music Sessions. In this video, we're going to be going over more songs from the Essential Elements Book 1 for alto saxophone. So the last video we left off with doing number 12, so we're going to jump into number 13, which is called Essential Elements Quiz. And these first songs that they give you, songs and exercises, we're still covering just these 5 notes that they introduced to us. So keep getting familiar with G, A, B, C, and D that we have down so far. And for Essential Elements Quiz, they even give you blanks on the bottom so you can write in the letters to keep getting comfortable with knowing what notes you're dealing with. So remember, in music, all you're dealing with are either line notes or space notes, right? So knowing if you're dealing with one or the other and where the fingering is with your horn, knowing all the basics and the fundamentals we've been talking about so far with how we get a sound with your embouchure, your air support. So keep reminding yourself of that stuff as we go further. That will help with the gaining more control with your instrument. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump into it. We'll talk more about it. So I'm going to put my metronome on, and I've mentioned before that it's important when you first start it initially, or any song initially, or exercise, don't worry about necessarily going with the metronome, but always have a sense of keeping a steady tempo. Get in the habit of doing that, the more you use the metronome, you'll get even more of a natural feeling of keeping that steady pulse that we work towards with music. But I'm going to put my metronome on 60 BPM, and we'll play a little bit of Essential Elements Quiz. So if we're going at this tempo, it's gonna sound like this. We got 1, 2, ready, So that's what's going on with that song. And with this one, a lot of these songs that we start out with, we're going from one letter to the next letter, which we considered steps. But at the very end, we're going to start throwing in some skips. So on the last measure, we go G, B, G, which we're skipping over A. So that's good to remind yourself of that sort of stuff as you're developing your reading skills going forward here, and as well. So and the first 2 measures are actually the first 5 notes of your G major scale. Eventually we'll be playing this as we get further into your plan. We got So most major scales have, or all major scales that is have 7 notes before you get into the same note, only higher if you're ascending, and then you can descend like I was doing too, up and down. But starting out, we normally give you guys like 5 notes to get comfortable with, which we call a pentascale. So think of a pentagon, you have 5 sides on a pentagon. Pentascales, you're dealing with those 5 notes. A lot of times you just need those 5 notes to create a melody, which we're going to be running into with some of these next songs we get into here too. But that's another thing you can practice as well, is besides doing this song, just going up G, A, B, C, D, and then back down. I mentioned skips earlier as well too. Going up the scale would be considered going up steps, but if you're going up skips, then another exercise that we use a lot in music is what we call arpeggios. So with the arpeggio for these sets of 5 notes, you could start on G, go to B, so that'd be considered a skip. We'll talk more about like different skips we get into. But yeah, G to B and then B to D is considered a G major arpeggio. All right. So let me go ahead and play you that. I'm gonna play the G pentascale and then the G arpeggio going up and down. I'll go ahead and put it on 60 BPM here as well. But yeah, besides practicing these songs and these other exercises, this is a good thing to know to have down. So if I'm going right here, starting on G, G pentascale and then G arpeggio, 2, ready, So yeah, I held out a whole note too at the end of the scale and the arpeggio. So that's something that you can do to separate those two as you're practicing here. But yeah, play them in different ways, you know, and the more that you kind of get comfortable with them and you know, mess around with the notes in different ways, then you can keep having that quick access to understanding where you're going with your notes. But let's go ahead and keep going along here too, because yeah, I was thinking we can knock out a few songs out of Essential Elements with this video. So that was 13. And remember on the previous video or a couple videos ago, yeah, we were talking about the repeat sign. Yeah, when we introduced A, we were talking about the repeat sign. So that's why on 13, I played Essential Elements quiz twice, because the repeat sign is going to be at the very end where they give you a thick line, a thin line, and then 2 dots. All right, but for the next one, Rolling Along, they only give you a double bar at the end. So if you don't see 2 dots at the very end, then that's the end of the song. And they even give you a heads up too that now we're getting into music that is a little bit longer besides just 4 measures. So they give you a heads up that you're gonna go to the next line of measures and the music is gonna keep going. So yeah, you know, a lot of times you might group 4 measures of music and then put another set of 4 measures and keep going in that pattern, or it could be a different kind of format, but 4 is a real common one that we'll see a lot in different notation. So I'll go ahead and play this one for you, and you might recognize the melody. A lot of these melodies that they have you start out with are old folk songs or nursery rhymes, just to get you, yeah, more comfortable with moving around your instrument and keeping it simple and basic to ease into being able to speak fluently with your instrument. So I'll put it on 60 BPM. And again, yeah, eventually have a goal to be able to play along with the metronome. Don't worry about it so much right now. Each time you hear this click, you can think of quarter note rhythm, which with Rolling Along, we deal with all quarter notes in this song. All right. So this one's gonna go a little like this. We got 1, 2, ready, Okay. So, yeah, you recognize that melody? Yeah, and I probably cut off maybe a little bit too quick at the end. You know, that's another skill that you want to develop too as you get more comfortable with your instrument. Tapering off the notes. So making sure that you're getting a clean cutoff, right? Of getting that. All right. So, yeah, you know, and you see how I did this motion with my hand, right? So, yeah, you want to think of, yeah, basically kind of touching at the end of the note, not being so abrupt with finishing the note off at the end of a phrase of a melody. Yeah, you can even think of a visual of like a, you know, if you're picking up a Kleenex and then just letting it float, you want to think of doing that with the sound, right? So you pick it up and then let it kind of just settle and not be so quick. You might want to be abrupt and quick in certain, you know, songs and stuff. But a lot of times, yeah, you want to be nice and smooth with tapering off the notes at the end of the phrase. But rolling along is also Mary Had a Little Lamb, right? So I haven't looked into, but you know, I think Rolling Along was the original title, or it could have been the other way. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, that tends to be the case with a lot of like old folk songs where they use the same order of notes, but they might switch up the lyrics or put new lyrics. Yeah, along with where the song is going. So, yeah. So that's what's going on with that one. Yeah, but how about I give you another taste of how it's going to sound again, and then you can keep practicing it yourself. So back to 60 BPM. Gonna sound a little like this. Ready? A two. Ready? Yeah, I feel like I did a better job that time with cutting off the note at the end of the song. So keep listening for all the fundamentals we've been talking about in previous videos of making sure that, yeah, you're thinking of, for your embouchure, keeping your corners of your mouth in. Think of a O face. Overlap that lower lip to be a cushion, yeah, for your bottom teeth. All right? And rest the top of your teeth on top of the mouthpiece. Take about half of the mouthpiece into your mouth. Yeah, so reminding yourself of that stuff. If you're squeaking on when you're playing and stuff, you might be tensing up too much with your face. You might also be blowing too hard into your instrument. So yeah, you want to have fast air. Think of a fast airstream, you know, going in this direction diagonally down so you can fill it up, but make sure it's steady but not too aggressive. Okay? So keeping that in mind, and keep making subtle adjustments if you're not quite getting the sound that you're going for, and you'll get it as you keep sitting with it. But how about we do even one more for this video, and then we can we can get into some more stuff next time. But at least this week, yeah, see if you can practice 13 and 14. And in the next page, we can even talk about another rhythm that we get into like a lot of times in music, the half note rhythm. So half note, you get 2 counts. If you have a circle and a stem, that tells you that you're going to be getting 2 counts for that rhythm. And every rhythm has a correlating rest that goes with it. So they even give you the symbol for the half rest, where it's basically a block that's resting on top of the 3rd line of the staff in music. So that would tell you to rest for 2 counts or 2 beats, just like they show you. Yeah, the symbol equals 2 quarter note rests as far as that goes. But 15, they even give you a clapping exercise too. You're welcome to do, which is good extra kind of just clarification with making sure that you're feeling the rhythms of what they're giving you. But 16 is actually the same rhythms, but they give you the notes in there too. So let's go ahead and jump into that. And you're welcome to do the clapping exercise here as well. But let me go ahead and play you 16 at 60 BPM, so you can hear how this is going to sound. And yeah, if you want to clap along with what I'm playing too on the video, you're welcome to hear how I'm going with my rhythm, so you can get more comfortable with these half notes. I can give you a little test of how this is going to sound with clapping here too. If this is the quarter note, we're going to be on 2, ready, and go, and 1, 2, 3, 2, rest, rest, 2, 2, 2, rest, rest, 2, rest, rest. So I won't take the repeat, with the clap. So that's actually gonna be all of 15 minus the repeat sign. But you're welcome to do that for extra work of getting comfortable again with these rhythms. But check out how 16 sounds. Yeah, I'll take it from the top for you here. Ready? A 2, a 16. Here. Okay, so that's gonna sound something like that. As we get into other rhythms, keep reminding yourself to keep that airflow going and to try to make it to the end of the phrases. Have a goal to at least make it all the way to the end of 2 measures in one breath. With this one, they give you a little bit of a break in between with these half note rests. So even at least making it to those half note rests before you take a breath again is what you want to shoot for. But yeah, that's going to sound a little like that. Now we're getting more into different combinations, different rhythms with these 5 notes of your G pentascale. So yeah, let's practice up to 16 in this for this video, and we'll keep going along and rolling along, if you will, yeah, into some of the next songs in here, and we'll keep jumping around some other stuff as we go. But make sure to give me a like, subscribe, give me a message if you're interested in taking lessons, and I'll see you on the next one.